Hello everyone, it's Yana and I'm back again with an absolutely crazy story from my childhood. I noticed that ever since I visited the Conjuring house, a lot of the memories from my own paranormal experiences have started resurfacing. And also, I kid you not, I've been having nightmares every single night, and every single night it has to do with me being alone in that house. So I don't really know what's going on, but I feel like visiting that house definitely set something off. And although I'm not noticing more paranormal activity in my life, I just feel like I'm more like open to it. As a kid, I had so many paranormal experiences that honestly, like I kind of shut that part out because I did not want to deal with it. Because like, dude, that stuff is so scary. Like, ghosts are terrifying. Imagine being alone in a house that you believe is haunted. My absolute worst nightmare. So today's story all took place in one night in my childhood, but I feel like I do have to give you a little bit of backstory before we actually get started. I can't guarantee how old I was when all of this happened, but I will say that I was between the ages of 13 to 15, I believe. Somewhere in that spectrum. And at the time, I had my first quote-unquote job, which was babysitting. And I was only babysitting one kid in my building who was a family friend of mine. Honestly, I think babysitting is like everyone's first job. I didn't mind babysitting and I liked making some extra cash. But all in all, the point of the story is that I did have some experience babysitting. So on one particular New Year's Eve, I do not remember for the life of me what year it was. I know that my whole family got together at my aunt's house and we all wanted to celebrate New Year's together. It wasn't just like close family, it was close family and extended family and like friends of extended family, and there were so many people there that I didn't really even know or wasn't introduced to, so it wasn't like your typical small family get together. It was basically a party. So when I got there, I immediately noticed that I was the oldest kid there, which if you knew anything about like family get-togethers, like you always want your cousins to be there and you're like close in age family so that you can like have someone to play with. I kid you not, I was the oldest kid at this party, so I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the most boring New Year's ever. I'm not gonna have anything to do. I'm gonna be so bored. Little did I know I was in for quite a wild ride. So the beginning of the party was fine. Everyone was hanging out and all the adults went into the basement to have a couple of drinks. Now, as the night was progressing, like more and more people were drinking and more people were going down into the basement. And that's when like an extended family member of mine, I literally can't remember who it was. I just know that I wasn't necessarily close with them and I don't really remember knowing them too well, but they approached me holding this little girl's hand who was maybe like 2 to 4 years old max. And they said to me, hey, I'm gonna go down into the basement and drink with the rest of the adults. Could you please just watch her and make sure she's fine? To be honest with you, that was by far like the most interesting thing that happened to me that night. So I was like, sure, why not? I'll watch your daughter or granddaughter, or I don't even know. I'll watch this kid and you go have fun. So here I am at this New Year's party, now essentially babysitting this girl who I don't really know anything about. But again, I did have some experience babysitting and I was so bored, so I wasn't just gonna sit there in silence with her. So I started talking to her and trying to get to know her. And I do remember this little girl being insanely smart for her age. She was not that talkative. When she would talk, she was very smart. I remember like thinking of different ways to like entertain her and what to do to keep her company. So I thought, why don't we play hide and seek? Now the house had 3 floors and all the adults, like the whole party was basically in the basement. So we had the main and the top floor to ourselves. And I knew this house pretty well because it was my aunt's house. So I felt comfortable to play hide and seek there. The little girl was totally down. So I told her that she would hide and I would seek because I felt like that's like more interesting for the kid. Like I feel like when kids play hide and seek, they play hide and seek because they want to hide, not because they want to look for people. So I told her, go hide somewhere and I'm gonna go find you. So I close my eyes, I count, whatever, open my eyes, and she is gone. So I'm walking around the house and I'm looking for her, and immediately I just think to go upstairs. I assumed that she would hide upstairs because she would think I wouldn't look there. And like, this house isn't huge, but something about it was like very eerie at the time, especially because again, there was a party going on in the basement, but for some reason it was like dead quiet upstairs. Like you would not be be able to hear anyone downstairs. You wouldn't be able to hear any music. Dead quiet, like really freaking creepy. I make my way upstairs. I start looking through the bedrooms. I turn into like the first left bedroom, I think it was, when you got upstairs. And I'm searching for her. I'm like cracking jokes. And out of nowhere, from my right side, like storming out of the room from the far right hallway, is the little girl literally running at me, bawling her eyes out, saying that there was something under the bed. I look at her, I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean there was something under the bed? So this girl walks me to the other bedroom and basically tells me that she was trying to hide under the bed from me when she felt someone grab her while she was hiding under the bed. Now listen, I know little kids have crazy imaginations. Their brains are just like bursting with different ideas and thoughts, and so like I didn't immediately think anything of it. Even though this girl was genuinely like very upset, she was very scared. She did not want to continue playing hide and seek, which was personally fine by me because I wanted to like dig deeper into this. Keep in mind, I was pretty young at the time too, and the whole concept of the paranormal was super intriguing to me. And here was this little girl telling me that there was someone under the bed. Hell yeah, I'm gonna investigate this. So I start asking her like, who was under the bed? What did you see? What happened? She said that it looked like a goblin, one of these guys. It was at that point where I was like, okay, things are getting very creepy, especially because again, this girl is pretty young. So like in my eyes, if she's saying something, she's probably not making it up, especially with the amount of detail that she was going into. Anyway, so this happens and kind of kills the vibe, obviously, because the girl's now scared. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat too. So I say, why don't we go back down onto the main floor and just hang out? We go downstairs and I grab some paper and some crayons for her to play with. I don't know, I felt like drawing was the most harmless thing for a child to do. I could just chill and she could just draw and we could just forget about the whole goblin situation. I feel like the word goblin sounds weird and funny, but like in the moment, I swear it was scary. So we're on the main floor and she's drawing and I'm hanging out, and you guys, like, you're gonna think the next part I literally made up. I am truly not lying to you. Like, what I'm about to tell you genuinely happened, and it scared the absolute crap out of me. Like, this is the most mind-blowing, terrifying thing ever. To this day, this is my scariest paranormal experience ever, hands down. So you know how I told you I gave her like a piece of paper and crayons, and you know how I told you that this girl was drawing? So you know, I peek over there to see what she's doing, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What are you drawing there? And I kid you not, this girl turns the paper to me and says, I'm drawing you holding hands with the goblin from under the bed. I'm sorry, she was drawing me holding hands with the goblin that she saw under the bed. Now let me describe this drawing for you because I remember it perfectly. I actually kept this drawing for the longest time but ended up getting rid of it because like, what was the point of keeping it? It was literally a kid drawing of like a little green hill and a stick person, myself, holding hands with like a tiny little basically demon. And I was like, why would you draw me holding hands with him? And again, you're gonna think I'm lying. You're gonna think this is fake. It's not. I'm not lying. I swear to God, this girl said, I'm drawing you with him because he likes you. The gremlin under the bed liked me. So you can imagine I'm losing my absolute goddamn mind at this point. And this is not one of those situations where I'm like, oh, I'll just kind of let it go. Hell no, I was freaking terrified. So much so that I took this girl, I brought her down to the basement, gave her to her parents, and literally explained everything to them. I said, hell no, I am not babysitting this girl any longer. Then I kid you not, I ran to my mom and my aunt and I told them everything that happened. Obviously, they were like, there's no way this girl can like talk to demons. But like, why would a girl so young make something like that up? Like, yeah, she could have been messing with me, but like, if she was that young messing with me, that's like crazy. It's widely known that like kids are more in tune with like the spiritual side. I think their brains are just so much more imaginative. Kids are just in tune with the other side a lot better than we are. So I genuinely believe that this girl was seeing some sort of like spirit in the house, and she saw it under the bed and she saw it like next to me, and for some reason she thought it would be great to draw us holding hands together. Now after this whole incident, I went home and I googled what does it mean mean when I'm drawn holding hands with like a spirit or something. And I kid you not, what it said online was that it means that that spirit is now forever attached to me. So basically, while I was babysitting this girl, she forever tied me to a spirit for the rest of my life. At least that's what I read. Now, after this babysitting experience was when all of my other paranormal experiences in my old apartment happened, which I also made a video about. I'll put the link in the description, but I feel like this event definitely kicked off like a pattern of paranormal activity in my childhood. This is one of just like so many stories, honestly, almost an infinite amount of stories. I just feel like the paranormal has always followed me. I don't mind it, but like it's definitely creepy. It gives me a lot of good stories though. But yeah, you guys, that is my weird, scary babysitting experience. If you guys have any weird babysitting stories, make sure to comment them down below. If you have any paranormal stories, also let me know. I'd love to hear your guys' experiences. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.